Hello, all, and welcome to tonight's wine review. Yes, we're going to be reviewing wine. Maybe I should have dressed up a little bit more fancy, yeah? Put on a nice ascot, a pocket square, a fine top hat. Well, I'll put on the finest hat I got here. How about that? How about that? Do I look classy now? Do I look classy? Are you proud of me? Do I look classy? My reviews are always so serious. Anyways, as you've probably already seen with the recent upload, I did a comparison review of a whiskey that had been um, seasoned in Broadbent Madeira oak barrels. A small Broadbent Madeira oak barrel, a barrel that had been seasoned in Broadbent Madeira. And I made a guess as to what kind of Madeira it was, and I was completely wrong. And that gave me an idea. Why not go and review the particular Madeira that was actually in that cask? And so we have Broadbent Madeira Boal, 10 years old. Done with that traditional Madeira stenciling. Now, let's read the label, shall we? 400 miles off the coast of North Africa, Madeira, a Portuguese island, produces one of the world's most exquisite and distinctive wines. Broadbent Madeiras have been blended to the specifications of Michael Broadbent, master of wine, known for his love of Madeira, and Bartholomew Broadbent, known for reintroducing Americans to Madeira in 1987, long forgotten since Prohibition in 1920. The Broadbent Madeiras embody the beauty, tradition, and elegance of this unique wine. Broadbent 10-year-old Boal is medium sweet, deep amber in color, with a powerful bouquet of dark chocolate and molasses. The wine is complex and medium-bodied, with a lovely nutty character. Fantastic on its own or paired with a dessert or cheese course. Can be enjoyed for months after opening. So this is 19% ABV. And I've had this discussion before, about 7 years ago, actually. I believe it was the last time I reviewed a Madeira wine. And why can it be enjoyed? Well, that is because Madeiras are oxidized wines. So they're a fortified wine, a wine that which neutral spirits, in this case grape brandy, have been added to cease fermentation early. And then later, the Madeira wine is cooked in ovens. And that is to go and simulate the effect of wine casks being shipped across the ocean in slow sailing ships back in, the days before steam travel. And this gave the wine a very durable, lasting character. So it didn't turn to vinegar or go bad like many other wines would under that sort of treatment. As such, it was the wine that was most popular for export back in the 1700s and early 1800s. And that meant that Madeira wine was one of the main wines enjoyed by the founding fathers of the American Republic, as Madeira was on the route to America from Europe. They would pick up these wines and they would be shipped to America, and the greater portion of America, basically everything from Pennsylvania on south, has very hot summers, which is not good for wine. So in the south, they would drink this, and it would be stable. Now you may be wondering why it's a little bit moisturized. I put this condensation, I put this in the freezer for about 30 minutes because I wanted to get to a good serving temperature. Right now the temperature outside is very hot. It's Hawaii summer temperature. So it's somewhere in the high 70s right now, even at night, or a little bit before 9 o'clock, which the time is. And ideal serving temperature is around 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Is this the ideal serving temperature? No, but it's better than Hawaii room temperature. So, without much further ado or history lessons, let's just get straight to this. If I can find where the tab is to open this. Oh, these oh so professional reviews of mine. Sometimes I wish I had fingernails, I used to when I played ukulele and guitar a lot. Not anymore, my friends. Not anymore. I think it. Oh, God, it's not tearing right. See, it's kind of it's peeling more than tearing. Okay, maybe. Here we go. Got that metal part off. Got the nice tab, product of Portugal. Cork is still good. Oh my. Oh my. And this is not a Madeira glass. I do not have port glasses, which is the kind of glassware that you want to go and put Madeira in. But that's fine. This particular glass will allow us to still sample the wonderful and complex bouquet that is Madeira. You can kind of see here, very thick legging, viscous in its appearance, with a amber brown color, slightly tinted with red and yellow, and more or less clear once you get it through light. So light passes through it when you have it like this. There's no sediment or thickness to it. It's just the darkness of the color there. Oh, absolutely lovely. Immediately, toffee, milk chocolate, raisins, black raisins, golden raisins, nuts, walnuts, candied orange peel, slightly perfumed flowers. You go back to it and, each time you smell it, it's like a different aspect of it catches your nose. Oh, good Lord. Absolutely beautiful. Man, I could sniff this forever, but we have to get this onto the palate before it gets a little too warm. Mm. Oh, yeah, perfect tasting temperature. There is sweetness there, but it's perfectly balanced with the high acidity. Orange and lemony notes on the palate in the long finish. raisinly notes in the top note of the long finish. In the mids, nuttiness on the palate. And then in the finish, nuttiness on the palate. Walnuts dipped in fruit treacle, almost. Up front and into the mids, molasses-like notes, light molasses notes. Seville orange, almost, in the top note as well, during the mids. Acidity is absolutely bracing, but balanced by that high sugar content. It just alternates in between the two, texturally on the palate. Up front, brief notes of milk chocolate, chocolate-covered mandarin oranges. Nuttiness. This is in the nose, on the palate. There's just this interplay, and as I mentioned, in the nose, you sniff it, and each time something else reveals itself to you on the palate, same thing. And then the interplay in between, your nose and on your palate, that top note and palate taste notes. I'm just absolutely raving. I mean, oh, good God Almighty. There's a reason why so many people say that Madeira is their desert island wine. Yeah, toffee to raisins, and there's just so much going on there. And the finish just really lasts and lasts too. It's really rare with a lot of alcoholic beverages that you have the top note in the long finish, and the long finish has a strong top note to it here. Yeah, wow. I am silent because I am luxuriating in the just the pure sensory bliss that I am experiencing right now. Maybe there's like some sort of genetic aspect to this. As you can probably see, my last name is Gomes. I am of partial Portuguese descent. Maybe there's like some sort of genetic connection between me and this wine. Oh. Now the long finish is kind of getting this nutty long aspect to it in the top note. I mean, it just shifts so much. And it's not subtle flavors, even though it's shifting. And you know, it's like these big flavors and scents that for some reason are still shifting. You know, there's not any blurriness or muddiness. They're very distinct, yet and but there's still so many of them, and it's still like emerging. You know, it's like looking at different faucets on a fine diamond. Facets on a fine diamond, excuse me. Why haven't I ever reviewed this before? You know, a fine Madeira wine, or any of the other wines that I loved in my college days. I did have a deep love for sherries as well, and certain French wines, and certain German wines. Why haven't I reviewed wines? Well, I sort of switched to beers primarily due to price point. This costs $50. And you might be asking me right yourself or me right now, why did you go and pick up this now of all times? Well, I try to keep like current events too much, you know, specific current events too much out of my reviews, but with the way inflation and the economy is going, I kind of feel that my chance to drink and enjoy these kinds of things is coming to a halt in the near to midterm future. And I'm not sure if I'm ever going to regain that in my lifetime. This is just my personal feelings. I have like no special knowledge. It's just kind of seeing how things are going. And while I still have money, and while that money is still worth anything in regards to how inflation is going, I want to go and spend some of it to enjoy the things that I have enjoyed in my 43, 44. I always forget my age. This I forget my age. I'm 43, 44, 45-ish. Born 1978. You do the math there. Yes, I forget names and ages very easily, even my own. Only the pointless stuff I remember for Jeopardy, but I'm digressing here. So these are things that I don't think I'm going to be able to experience pretty soon. And I want to try them now and record them now and enjoy them now and share them now with you all because these are things that are very important to me. Um, Good drink and good food. Sorry, it's getting blurry again. Good drink and good food are things, you know, that have been important to me. You know, it's right there below my family, my books, and my chickens. You know, they're in that top five. And it's kind of sad because I lost one of those things that you know really defined me and gave a lot of meaning to my life, i.e., my chickens. And to lose something like this, the finer sort of things, I'm pretty sure alcohol is always going to be around no matter how bad the economy gets. But to lose some really fine alcohol like this due to the fact that I can no longer afford it or no longer being available because supply chains are also going kablooey right now is just dismaying to me. So even though it's quite a fair investment on my limited income, I want to go and have these and I want to go and share them and I want you guys if possible to go out and enjoy these things too while they're available. And maybe I'll be wrong, maybe I'm wrong. Pray to God I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And these things will be available and these things will be affordable for someone on my income tier in the future. But I just really don't think so. So, Broadbent Madeira, Boal, 10 years old. Just an absolute work of art. This is a masterpiece in the glass. I believe much of the Broadbent, line in regards to the noble varieties of grapes. Interesting fact: this is a white grape that this wine comes from. A white, a white wine grape that this wine comes from. Doesn't look like it, does it? But yeah, if you have never tried a noble varietal of Madeira wine, do yourself a favor and try it. It is one of the great sensory experiences, palate wise and bouquet wise, that you can never have. And that's my own personal opinion, but I think it's something that if a lot of people tried it, they would agree with me. And that, folks, Broadbent Madeira, Boal, 10 years old, is your wine review for this evening. Cheers and salute.